So in the wake of Zoran Mamdani's Democratic primary victory, you've got a number of establishment Democrats who are starting to sweat a little bit about a potential primary challenge from the left. Hakeem Jeffries was asked about this possibility for himself on CNN. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
I have no idea what these people are talking about. We are going to continue to focus our efforts as we did on the House floor in connection with Donald Trump's one big ugly bill on pushing back against the extremism that has been unleashed on the American people. It's clear to us as members of the New York City delegation that the problem is Donald Trump and House Republicans.
What do you mean by that?
Are you being honest when you say you don't know why they're targeting you?
What do you mean by that?
You know why they're targeting you.
Oh no, I'm not. I know why they're targeting me.
You know why they're targeting.
But I don't care that they're targeting.
Well, so why don't you say it? You know why they're targeting.
I think they're targeting me because I'm pro-Israel.
That's 100%.
Yeah, that's the issue.
So are you saying they're targeting you and all of these other individuals? Yvette Clarke, Hakeem Jeffries,
I think I am specifically targeted because of my position on Israel.
And by the way, he's been courageous on this issue, and he's had a backbone, and he has stood up to the wacko radicals in his party on this, and he deserves all the credit in the world for it. But that's why he's on the list, because these people have a burning hatred for Israel. It's one of their main pieces of their platform, and that's why they put him on the list, and it's terrible.
So it started there with Hakeem Jeffries, and then to Richie Torres, who starts looking very uncomfortable as Scott Jennings starts singing his praise on CNN. And I mean, look, these people, they should be afraid right now, because the Democratic base, in a way I have never seen before, they are disgusted with the Hakeem Jeffries of the world. And you know what? On Israel, listen, most people are not going to be voting on Israel and Gaza.
Correct.
However, this is beginning to be a sort of like gatekeeping litmus test issue within the Democratic primary base, because it's an indication of, are you going to fight? Are you willing to stand up for things that are different? Are you willing to stand up against moneyed interests? And do you have any like core principles do you have basic humanity and any basic values that we can rely on? So yes, the fact that Richie Torres, who represents one of the poorer districts in the country, has spent so much time fixated on supporting a foreign country rather than trying to help out his own constituents in his own district, yeah, that is going to make you a target for a primary. And I very much suspect that he is going to face one. I think Hakeem Jeffries could as well. And I think both of them could potentially be very vulnerable here, specifically because of the way that the Democratic base has shifted in their view of their own establishment leaders.
Yeah, that's actually the important point. The important point is that it's not about Israel per se. Although, you know, Ryan put this very eloquently yesterday about Epstein, and I think Israel has now become one of this. If you just repeat Epstein killed himself or any sort of establishment thing, people's baseline, it's not that they're voting on Epstein. They're like, yeah, I don't trust this guy. They're like, this guy is captured. And if you talk about Israel and like, our strongest allies, the most moral army in the world, people are like, I don't know about this. That's kind of how I think it has become. Nobody's voting on it. They're just like, that becomes an entree point through which you can assess what people think about all of these other things. That's how I would put it. And so to see Hakeem Jeffries then also fumble it in just such an immense way, both in terms of the way he's handled the bill, in the way that he handles the entire like opposition to Trump, in the way that the Democratic Party really wants, you are absolutely ripe for a major takeover. The question is like, what form does that take? I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Jeffries like? Most of these districts, they're like heavily gerrymandered. It's gonna be pretty tough to actually get yourself a real primary.
You could get a real primary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure.
Richie Torres is. I have to look at Hakeem Jeffries. Richie Torres's district in particular, Zoran won.
Right.
And I think he won Hakeem Jeffries' district as well.
Okay.
But I'd have to double check on that one. And I know he won Dan Goldman's district, which is like a lower Manhattan district as well. So I don't know if you've followed this. Richie Torres, since Zoran's victory, man, has he done a 180. He stopped Israel posting. He'll only occasionally now post about Israel, whereas previously it was like every other tweet is about Israel, you know. He put up this video that he quickly took down because I think it was such an embarrassing attempted copy of what Zoran was doing, like the man on the street thing. And he's just getting like ripped apart, so he deleted it. He has gone to bat for Zoran in the context of saying this, you know, these Islamophobic attacks on him are unacceptable. So he definitely recognizes that he has an issue and that he has a vulnerability. Hakeem Jeffries, I mean, he's like so rizzless that it's astonishing. He is the biggest black hole of charisma I think I've ever seen in my entire life. I was watching his appearance on The View the other day just to see if there was like anything interesting there that we might want to cover. And the way he talks, he does all these like disconnected hand motions while he's talking that you can clearly see some consultant was like,
oh, you need
this
to move
is
your
the
hands
way to
around
like
more.
punch up your
Right.
presentation and you need to be more, you need to like,
funny.
yeah, you need to enunciate more, you need to use your hands, you need to be more energetic. And it just comes off like he's like a traffic cop or, you know, trying just very robotic. So for Richie Torres, the focus on Israel, he's right. It's a problem for him. It is a problem. When you have a huge gulf of a disconnect between where Democratic leadership is and where the Democratic base is on Israel, yes, that's an issue for you, no doubt about it. For Hakeem Jeffries, the fact that he has become a figure of public mockery across the board with your most normie possible liberal Democrats for his inability and unwillingness to fight Trump in any real meaningful way and how absolutely pathetic he's been in this moment. Yes, that makes him vulnerable too. Jon Stewart actually was taking shots at him over his like insanely cringe, pathetic posting around the One Big Beautiful Bill. Let's go ahead and take a look a little bit at what Jon Stewart had to say.
But at least Democrats still have Hakeem Jeffries over in the House. He's a younger leader. And he decided not to answer with words, but with imagery.
Hakeem Jeffries on Instagram. He's got a baseball bat and he says House Democrats will keep the pressure on Trump's one big ugly bill.
Hakeem Jeffries answered with imagery that sends a clear message to Republicans that Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats are waiting for their moms to pick them up from T-ball.
Yeah, just absolutely pathetic. So
Did you
here's
keep the sneakers in that too?
Oh
Just
my
saying.
God. Yeah,
It's
the
a
whole
lesson.
thing.
Stop dressing like shit.
Stewart also made a good point
Yeah.
of like, don't you know that if you want to look intimidating, the angle is from below, so
Yes,
you look
that's
larger, not
exactly
above.
right.
So it shrinks you down and makes
See, he
you look
doesn't
like
even
that
know all
little
these
kid.
basics, and apparently he's been caught using Facetune now multiple times. That is humiliating.
Oh, there was this picture
Yeah.
he posted of himself on Instagram where he's
Yes.
like leaning up against
Yep.
the park bench. And you can see very obviously like the park bench is
Yeah.
all wavy and manipulated from whatever they were doing to like, I
Yes.
don't know, make his hips smaller or something.
That was my friend Julie Grace.
What are you doing?
Julie Grace, who is a great reporter, who I recommend people follow, who spotted the Facetune. So shout out to her. There's
Amazing.
also this. This is really fun. Let's put this next one up on the screen about eyeing him for a primary, and they respond: if Team Gentrification wants a primary fight, our response will be forceful and unrelenting. We will teach them and all of their incumbents a painful lesson. So branding them Team Gentrification is, I mean, what is that exactly? It's like the way that they're kind of trying to frame this as Zoran is just like the rich white leftist candidate, and they're like the original residents of New York candidate. But I mean, it doesn't really fit with a lot of the data, that has come out of the primary
Not at
itself,
all.
especially if he's was able to win your district.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And I mean, it's also rich coming from Hakeem Jeffries, who takes, of course, money from all kinds of like private equity and whatever that are actually doing the gentrification. And from Hakeem Jeffries, who has been a leader in the Democratic Party as it has pivoted to be a richer white college educated
Right.
party, like that being the center of gravity within the Democratic Party. Let's put C4 up on the screen just to dig into some of these numbers. So first of all, Zoran, now, after all the ranked choice voting, he has now won the largest number of primary votes for a Democratic candidate in New York City of all time. Now, it is a little bit different because this ranked choice voting now wasn't before, blah, blah, blah. But that is still a really significant accomplishment. You don't do that by just winning what they call the commie corridor. He made huge inroads into some of the, hardcore Cuomo base. And now keep this up on the screen. This is polling for if you, if all 5 candidates stay in the race through the general. This is what it ultimately looks like. And you've got Zoran winning, most every constituency. You have him winning white voters, black voters, Latino voters, Asian voters, college educated. Cuomo does beat him among non-college by by about 3 points. But you can't look at this and say, oh, this is just wealthy white people gentrifiers. Like, that is a preposterous way of view. He's winning Latino voters by 21 points. And you know, there's been so much analysis about why left-wing candidates struggle with the like Black Democratic base. What you see from these numbers is, yeah, once you're the Democratic nominee, this is a constituency that's primarily loyal to the Democratic Party. They're by and large going to vote for you. So in any case, any sort of look at the data with an unbiased eye shows that this coalition was much broader than the way certainly that Hakeem Jeffries is trying to portray it here. And who his base is at this point, Hakeem Jeffries, I don't know. I mean, maybe people in his district have some feeling about him that's different than the national narrative. I'm sure it will not be easy to unseat him, but I'm sure he has to be nervous. And, you know, if he has any sense whatsoever, he has to be nervous because he truly is a primary target. And, you know, last thing here before we get to the I've had it, ladies, it's so crazy to me that you have this guy. You have the Democratic Party doing all this soul searching. Oh my God, how do we like appeal to young people again? How do we get the bros back? And how do we get excitement back into this party and make people trust us? Here comes Zoran out of nowhere. People freaking love this guy. They love him. He's a rock star. He's compelling. He understands he's got a message that clearly resonates with people, like hit the nail on the head there. And then he also understands the medium of the moment. Like he is a sort of native TikToker where, you know, it's the vertical video and he's very comfortable in that forum. And this is the way that the public greets this guy on the street at this point. Let's go ahead and play C6.
Yes, that's me, yes. Yeah, we can take one.
I voted somebody that won.
Thank
something.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, no worries. Thank you. How's it going, guys? Thank you. How you doing, brother? Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you, my man. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Can I take one too?
Yeah, for sure. Hi. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? I think she's coming. Thank you.
I voted for you. You voted for me.
So here you have this guy who is a true star, and the instinct of the Democratic Party establishment is like, what can we do to destroy him?
Yeah, I mean,
tells you so much about the party.
Look, I respect a renegade when they are there, and I can see and recognize somebody who's got genuinely political talent. But you know, that's what makes him vulnerable, because that's ultimately why he was there in the first place. It does look a lot better for him than the initial days. I think he's going to win. I do.
I do too.
I don't think he's. I don't see. I mean, Adams it's possible. That's the only possible, but he has a very low approval rating.
People are so delusional about Eric Adams.
Yeah.
Eric Adams has a 20% approval
that's
rating in the city of New York.
Right.
It is the lowest mayoral approval in the history of that city. Like, even if, in fact, I actually think Cuomo is probably the stronger candidate against Zoran if you are, you know, in the Bill Ackman camp of like, let's clear out the rest of the field. These guys all hate each other. They're not looking out to get out of the way of one another in order to be able to win. And Sliwa's going to pull his like 18% or whatever of the vote. I mean, I don't know. It's certainly possible they'll be able to take him out, but also if you look, Zoran has much higher favorability than any of these other candidates do.
That makes a lot of sense.
He's getting all the union backing at this point.
Yes,
like there is a consolidation of sort of like those sorts of power bases within the city behind him, which is also going to make him very difficult to beat at this point.
Definitely. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.